Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And to all our witnesses for your testimony today, federal law prohibits car dealers from selling new cars subject to recall, but there's no similar law to stop rental car companies from renting or selling dangerous recalled cars that have not been fixed. Since the Hauk sisters' death near my district in 2004, the major rental companies signed onto a voluntary pledge to not rent out recalled vehicles. While this was a good step forward, these standards are still not enough. Just last year, after the pledge was in place, Jewel Brangman was killed in her rental car when an unrepaired Takata airbag exploded. As we heard from NHTSA on the first panel, a change in federal law is needed. And that's why I have introduced H.R. 2198 with my colleagues, Ms. Schakowsky, Ms. Walter Jones, Mr. Butterfield, to prohibit the rental of recalled vehicles. I'm disappointed our bill was excluded from the draft we're considering today, despite its broad support from the rental industry and consumer groups, and that it has already passed the Senate. I also remain baffled that the Alliance of Auto Manufacturers and National Automobile Dealers Association actively oppose H.R. 2198 despite years of ongoing discussions and efforts to find a compromise. For example, the Alliance cites a concern about potential loss of use and other liability impacts as a reason for its opposition. To address this concern, we added a savings clause to the bill, explicitly stating that nothing in the bill will impact manufacturers' liability or other contractual obligations. Because of this change, General Motors, one of the Alliance's biggest members, now supports H.R. 2198. Honda has also expressed its support for the bill. Mr. Bainwall, and I'd like a yes or no answer on this if you would, does the Alliance still oppose H.R. 2198 despite General Motors' support for the bill? Yes
the Alliance
or no?
does not have consensus.
Thank you. Mr. Welch, so you can't say yes or no then because there's no consensus?
We don't have consensus. So.
Thank you. Mr. Welch, your organization has expressed concerns about the impacts H.R. 2198 would have on dealers with small rental or loaner car operations. My question to you, when consumers bring their recalled cars to a dealer for repairs and they need a loaner car, do you think dealers should be able to loan them vehicles with unrepaired safety recalls? And again, I ask you for a yes or no answer.
If the vehicle has been deemed to be unsafe to drive, either by the OEMs or by NHTSA, we would not put one of those cars in the hands of a consumer.
So that is a no. You do not think dealers should be able to loan vehicles that have, with unrepaired safety recalls?
No, I said if they were unsafe to drive, we wouldn't put them out there. If it involved...
You would not loan them then, as loaner cars?
If it was unsafe to drive, if it had a door jam sticker or a misprinted number.
Okay, that's not quite what my answer is. But I just go back to the first panel in which NHTSA said that every recall is a safety issue. There are no frivolous recalls. It's a simple question. The vast majority of rental companies have agreed to voluntarily stop renting rental cars. Why can't the dealers do the same?
Well, again, I'd like to draw a distinction between a recalled vehicle for a non-compliance that may not make it unsafe to drive.
May I ask you a follow-up then? Who's going to determine that?
Well, we rely on NHTSA and the OEMs to make that determination.
Okay, NHTSA has said that every recall is a safety issue, that they don't put recalls out unless it is a safety issue.
Well, NHTSA has the authority to issue stop drives or make the manufacturers issue stop drives, and if they believe that a vehicle is unsafe to drive or the manufacturer does it, they can issue that notice, and we would certainly honor it, but that doesn't apply to all vehicles that are subject to recalls.
I didn't get an answer, but my time is out. Thank you.